By the authors. What
Yes.
authors?
I can pull up the indictment if you'd like.
The author of Mark Milley?
No. The authors, there were authors at Mar-a-Lago interviewing Donald Trump for a book. And during the interview process, Donald Trump showed them classified documents.
Okay, again, that document specifically.
And actually, I believe the author's names are redacted in the indictment. So,
who had already disseminated that information? Because that information was already in the book, right?
No.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure about that.
What document was that specifically? You remember the charge? I do.
We don't. Oh my God! Of course, we don't know the specific document that was showed because if they published that would be against the law. But that document that Donald Trump is on audio, he was showing that to those authors.
Okay. Again, which document was that specifically in the indictment?
That instance of him. We actually don't.
No, I'm talking about the specific document.
Yeah, I'm answering your question. That Donald Trump was not indicted based on that exchange, and we don't know specifically what document that was because that would give up too much information to the public that is classified.
We actually do know what document.
Okay, so what document was it? We know it's a war plane in the Middle East. What specific document was it?
It was a previously classified document that was no longer classified.
Really? How do you know that?
Yeah, because it says it in the indictment. Actually.
Okay, where does it say that?
Hang on a minute, I'll pull that up.
Yeah, again, I'm telling you, it does not say that.
While I'm pulling this up, let's go back to this whole argument.
No.
Hang on, you guys. Hang on just 1 second. Green Hornet, you voted for Harris, correct?
Yeah, Harris.
Yeah, you have some background noise. Can you turn that off, man? How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. You got a killer panel up here. What is going on? I've not been on in a minute, so this is pretty amazing.
Oh, very well. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. You guys, we're at 1 million K. Thank you so much. Let's keep pushing the live. I want to talk a little bit more what we're talking on, and then I have some more current things that I want to get out. I'd really like to do some more current things, but
cool. I can actually read the quote to you from the indictment. So it's from paragraph 6. In July 2021, at Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey, during an audio recorded meeting with a writer, a publisher, and 2 members of his staff, none of whom possessed a security clearance, Trump showed and described a, quote, plan of attack that Trump said was prepared for him by the Department of Defense and a senior military official. Trump told the individuals that the plan was, quote, highly confidential and, quote, secret. Trump also said, quote, as president, I could have declassified it and, quote, now I can't, but this is still a secret. So Donald Trump himself is saying the document he's holding, which you are claiming was declassified, is still a secret.
Yeah, that document was charge number 29. It was charge number 29, and it was redacted.
Wait, the charge was redacted?
No, the document had been, military activity, foreign country. Hang on, I've got it. Hang on, that's not the right charge.
Harry, did he use the word sensitive? Was that the quote?
No.
Yes.
Say the quote again, Harry.
The author? Yeah, let me go.
Just the quote that you just read a second ago.
Let me find it. Sorry, 1 sec. Quote, in July 2021 at Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, during an audio recorded meeting with a writer, a publisher, and 2 members of his staff, none of whom possessed a security clearance, Trump showed and described a, quote, plan of attack that Trump said was prepared for him by the Department of Defense and a senior military official. Trump told the individuals that the plan was, quote, highly confidential and, quote, secret. Trump also said, quote, as president, I could have declassified it and, quote, now I can't, but this is still a secret, end quote.
Yeah, so military activity of a foreign country.
And what charge is that?
I think the one that was, it's all under, I think that one was 32. I'm trying to go back up to where you found in paragraph 6. Hold on. I'm trying to go back up.
But this is what I'm saying to you. We don't
find out exactly which document that was.
We don't. So that's what I'm trying to say to you. We don't know exactly what the document said other than what Donald Trump said it said. And it wasn't related to a specific charge. It was just another classified document that he was in possession of that's against the law.
Harry, you're killing the vibe in their echo chamber, man.
Sorry, man. No, it's tough.
Also, so you said the FBI didn't observe all these documents. The FBI actually observed all of these documents.
I did not say the FBI didn't observe the documents. They were the ones who did the search warrant.
I'm telling you, the FBI, prior to the search warrant, the FBI and the DOJ visited and were shown all of these documents in June.
No. You've completely miscited it. What the FBI did visit Donald Trump's house. That was for them to turn over documents that were classified. So they found classified documents.
He had already turned over the 15 boxes.
He turned over 15 boxes. That was not all the boxes. They found more boxes at Mar-a-Lago, and those photos are included in the indictment. So the FBI, Donald Trump his lawyers found classified documents in his home. They said, you must return it to the Department of Justice and the FBI. They set a meeting with the FBI for them to come get the documents and bring them back to a SCIF, and so they would be in possession of them. Donald Trump said, okay, let's do it. During the time between the FBI getting there and them learning of the classified documents, Donald Trump removed certain classified documents he knew were classified to private areas of his home and removed other boxes out to the common areas for the FBI to take those, but not the other boxes. And we know this to be true because of, number one, witness testimony, number two, text messages, and subpoenaed security footage from Mar-a-Lago showing these boxes being moved on specific dates. And those boxes contain classified documents.
All of those documents, June 2022, were in the safe in his room, observed by Jay Brad, according to the FBI.
No, I'm looking at photos right now in the indictment of these boxes.
I don't care about the photos. I'm telling you what the FBI said. And
where does it say that in the indictment?
Jay Brad. No, it's not in the indictment. So it's in the FBI report that was released by the court.
Okay, and so what's the report called, so I can look it up? And what does it say in the report?
Pull it up.
Go ahead.
Okay, while he's pulling that up, one, nothing is known to be true until it's ruled upon in judicial review. So, Harry, were the merits of this case ruled upon by the court?
The merits? I don't know if
was there a decision handed down by a judge?
No, there was no. Well, it wouldn't be handed by a judge. There was no conviction by a jury.
Okay, well, so one, it would have to make it through the judge, and I would think that actually it got thrown out, and Jack Smith, his case got tossed out. Yes,
it got thrown out because Donald Trump got elected president.
Well, no, originally Jack Smith got slapped down by the judge because he was unlawfully appointed.
Right, and they were refiling the case, and I believe I'm not sure if they won an appeal initially. I don't remember, but it wasn't thrown out because of any merit-based questions. It wasn't like
the same reason that James Comey and Letitia James got their initial indictment thrown out. Yes.
I mean, yes, yeah. So for James Comey in particular, they tried to bring another indictment for Letitia James, and the grand jury.
None of these facts are true, then, because it hasn't been decided upon by judicial review.
That's not true. We do know some of these things to be true because again, we have Donald Trump on audio saying some of these things, so we do know it to be true. We do have photos that prove things to be true. Whether Donald Trump is guilty of a crime, that is still not decided in the court of a court of law. But if we're looking at these audios, I'm not arguing that he's been convicted, but if there is audio recording of Donald Trump admitting to a crime, like hypothetically, if Donald Trump was accused of taking somebody's life and there's a video of him doing it, but Donald Trump for some reason was not charged with that crime, you would not say, one sec, if Donald Trump was not charged with that crime, you would not say, oh, Donald Trump didn't do it. You would just say that, yes, he wasn't found guilty in a court of law, but we do know certain things to be true. Just like, by the way,
it's not true until it's proven beyond reasonable doubt.
That's just completely not true. Like, if
it is true.
Okay, so
and
let me ask you.
It's back to you making assumptions without actually having.
Okay, great. Then let me ask you a question.
Actual ruled upon. Hang on, hold on, before you go run away to your interrogation. Okay,
I'm not going to interrogate you. I swear.
Just really quick. When was the recording done between Donald Trump and this person?
The summer of 2021. Now, my question to you was if for Mr. Epstein, I don't know if we can say that all. I'll refer to him as E because I don't want to get your life taken down. For Mr. E, for the overwhelming majority of his crimes that I would argue he absolutely committed, he was not charged for because he took his own life. So would you say it's unfair to say that Mr. E did these things because it wasn't ruled upon?
2008. And he admitted to his guilt.
Right, and he committed crimes after that as well. So are you saying that the crimes he committed after that as well, you don't believe those women?
Well, none of it's been proven within court of law. However, the crimes that he did commit back in 2008, where he admits that he did do those activities, that he can pay out the victims and any victim that comes forward after the fact, that he has to pay them out through his estate.
Right. So just to be clear,
he already admitted guilt.
So just to be clear, post 2008, all the crimes that Mr. E committed during those times, which were extensive and awful and brutal, and he harassed these women intercontinentally. You don't think any of that, you don't believe in any of that because it hasn't been proven in a court of law.
Well, Maxwell has been convicted. That was
but
proven
not.
in a
But,
court of law.
but Mr. E has not been convicted. So you would say yes, Maxwell
He
has.
was convicted in 2008.
but
As
I'm
far
at-
as his
so-
newer crimes,
Yes.
as far as his newer crimes, they were not proven in a court of law.
So you don't believe those women
you
who
can't-
were.
It's not based on whether or not there is a belief. It's based on whether or not the facts are true, and that wasn't ruled upon in a court of law. And so, in our country, it's technically on innocence until guilt is proven.
So just to be, can I just get you?
Innocent.
Can I get you on the record saying
is
that post
that
2000?
how the court system works here?
Yeah, so that's exactly how the court system works. But can I just get you on the record? So post 2008, you think that Mr. E is innocent?
Whether or not what I think and what is proven
I'm asking what you
separate
think.
things.
I'm asking what you think.
I think he is, based on the prior admission of guilt that he did in 2008, admitting that if further victims come forward, that he would pay them out through the estate.
So, but put his admission in 2008 aside, because future crimes had not been committed yet.
Why would I put that aside?
Because listen to what I'm saying. You understand
all
why
facts
I'm saying
are relevant.
Yeah, I agree that all facts are relevant. I'm asking post 2008. I'm asking post 2008 because it is somebody can commit crimes and then admit to those crimes and then commit no crimes in the future, right? You'd agree, but I think we would not agree that that's the case with Mr. E. So you're saying that post 2008, because he was not convicted of those crimes and he took his own life before he could, that you think that post 2008, not referencing his original charge and conviction, post 2008, Mr. E is innocent and he did not assault anybody after that.
That's the way the justice system works. You would have
to prove his guilt
in the court of law.
Do you believe that?
My opinion versus the actual fact finding.
I'm not asking you about the court of law. I'm asking about what do you believe?
Well, then I already gave you my answer.
Okay, great.
Like twice.
So that's fantastic. So when you were coming at me earlier referencing Donald Trump's indictment saying, well, it hasn't been proven. Yes, I agree that it hasn't been proven in a court of law, but we know some things to be true. Just like with Mr. E, we know some things to be true regardless of him having a trial or not. And with Donald Trump, we know some things to be true.
Well, that's not true. So hold on, stop. So one, all of the people that came forth after 2008, those people have not had their chance to be witness on the stand and give full actual testimony under oath. That has not happened. So there is no fact finding on whether or not that was completely proven. Now, a lot of these victims, by the way, if you remember, Harry, have filed a lot of civil complaints as well. How many of them won their civil complaint?
Wait. I'm not disputing their civil claims. Why? I don't know why you're bringing it up.
Okay, well, civil claims are easier to prove than criminal claims because it's a 51% preponderance of evidence. So can you show me which ones of the victims came forward with the civil complaint that was won against Epstein after 2008?
Wait, I did not bring up any civil claims. I don't know why you're asking me to prove something I didn't bring up. How is this relevant to the point that I was making?
Harry, I'm asking because many victims did come forward and bring civil complaints, which is much easier to prove.
Yeah.
And so I'm asking whether or not the victims who came forth in the 2019, I think is when he was charged. So how many of those victims already filed civil complaints?
But wait, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. How is that relevant to my point that I was just making?
I've made it very clear what I'm saying.
No, you're not, because the reason I brought this up, just if I can give you some context, the reason I brought this up was you were arguing that if something has not been proven in a court of law, we cannot believe it. And I'm saying that's not true, because if Donald Trump is on video taking somebody's life, you would say, and he wasn't charged for that crime, you would say, yes, he took somebody. Can I just finish briefly so I can explain what I'm saying? So if Donald Trump was caught on video taking somebody's life and he wasn't charged for that, you would still say, yeah, he took somebody's life. We all know it. We saw it with our own eyes. Similarly, with Donald Trump in this case, he's on audio admitting to having classified documents, retaining them when he knew he shouldn't. And even though he wasn't convicted of a crime, you would still say, yes, I know this to be true, that Donald Trump, by his own admission, had classified documents. In his indictment, we have leaked text messages, audio, video, all these different things that would prove that Donald Trump... Speech is not evidence? What?
Speech is not documents.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that. I didn't say that speech of documents. I said that Donald Trump himself is admitting. Wait, what? I'm saying that Donald Trump himself, that's a piece of evidence, that Donald Trump himself admitted to having classified documents, and those same classified documents were found in his home. But the overall point I'm trying to make to you is just because somebody's not convicted of a crime, you would still say, in most instances, in the court of public opinion, Sorry, if the evidence is overwhelming, you would still say that it is likely that person committed said crime. You do it with J.E., and you do it probably with other people. With O.J. Simpson, you probably say, yeah, he probably did take those people's lives in the court of public opinion, and you can absolutely do that with Donald Trump in the classified document case.
Okay, so I just want to remind you, Harry, you literally just got done throwing away your own argument earlier against Peggy Flanagan, when in court of public opinion, it's very likely that she is in fact involved in this. So I don't want to hear any more about whether or not the undeniable proof of whether or not she's in this Signalgate chat, because you just laid out, hold on, don't interrupt. You just laid out that in court of public opinion, that's equally as valid as evidence.
No, I did not say that. In terms of in different instances, that's not throwing away my own argument. Let me explain. In different instances, they're significant in different ways. When in regards to Peggy Flanagan, you have no hard evidence that she was in that Signal group chat or doing anything illegal. Whereas with Donald Trump, we have hard evidence that he was committing crimes. He himself admitted to committing crimes. So a court of public opinion, I agree, is completely separate from court of law. But you actually, in a court of public opinion, in my view, it would benefit you to actually have evidence to prove these claims. With Donald Trump, he's on audio
in the Signalgate chat saying it's
that is, but you would have to concede that is not. You would have to concede that evidence is not definitive whatsoever. Because, for example, if I said to you,
witnesses aren't evidence now, so now
nope, I did
have no validity.
My God, see, that's not at all what I said. Let me give you an example. I'm trying to explain her original argument back to me as to how Peggy
things that the FBI does.
Yeah.
So we can apply the same logic, correct?
No, we cannot, because a case has not been brought here.
Wait. Why not?
Because this is not a criminal proceeding, whereas there was a criminal proceeding against Epstein.
If you want to apply that logic to your
messages going today?
Very well. So did you vote for Harris or a third party?
Texas, actually, I'm going to drop real quick.
Yeah, actually, I did vote for Harris, but there's a stipulation there.
Man, I don't know what this is, but I don't know if you're going to be beneficial right now. Are you here to talk politics, man? Because if not, I gotta get someone else. So I guess
Harry, I've as you can see, Harry, you scrolled by this earlier. I was on it, as you can see by my coin count. I've tried this runaround it's you took the bait, man. We've talked about this. You said
I know. I heard them talking about this stuff, and I took the bait. I took the bait of like,
and now it's 3 a.m.
Are y'all done with your circle jerk?
Bro,
why are you thinking about young men in that way, bro?
You're a grown man, bro.
You're a grown ass man. Why are you thinking about young men like that, bro?
Quiet, Twinks.
Yo, Harry,
so hold on.
really quick, if I could.
No, we're gonna get back to Millie. Thank you.
Grown man, think about that, bro.
You don't run shit here. You don't run.
You're a grown man thinking about young men like that, bro.
You guys are.
You obviously don't know who the fuck you're talking to.
Men?
Yo, Harry. By the way, this is Harry. This is the dude who said I kicked him off a panel 2 years ago, and then was like,
the jamming dude?
Yeah. Actually, both of you fucks did. Whenever I was
dude
dog
who I
walking
said his
you
wife
stupid
divorced
asses,
him, he was
when I
like,
you're the guy
that's
stupid
wife
asses
divorced
about
him, right?
the fucking southern border. When y'all were sitting there talking about the southern border, that there was no problems, and I was showing you,
left him?
and I was showing you all the bullshit with Anthony Aguero and all the child trafficking that was happening that y'all denied.
You're the dude whose wife left him.
Y'all remember.
Okay, all right, let's go back to Millie, guys. Quiet.
Yeah, let's go back to Millie.
Thank you. Go.
This grown man down here thinking about us in that way as well. It's very strange.
Are you guys done yet?
Focus up, gentlemen. Focus up.
Hey.
So are we gonna get back to Millie?
Yeah, be
Yes.
quiet, please.
That's great. Let's do it.
dude confirmed. By the way, his wife divorced him.
Excuse me, you still haven't answered my question. So until you do, you need to be quiet down
It's
there.
okay. It's
Go ahead, Millie.
They can get personal.
Funniest
It's
TikTok
all
moment
good.
ever, by the way. That the interaction is so funny.
Are you done,
Yeah.
child?
I am done.
And you know what? Hold on. Let me give
I'm a child that dog walks y'all in like a 4v1,
Let me
so
give a
hell
quick PSA. For anybody that deals with any kind of fucking abuse, no matter what fucking kind it is, you know your motherfucking worth and your fucking value, and you leave that fucking situation. You leave that situation while they're fucking joking about shit. There's actually people that deal with real life shit that they don't fucking know about. But never ever allow yourself to be fucking belittled, treated like shit, or have any fucking verbal or physical abuse. You run from that shit. And don't be fucking taking this guy. And don't be talking about this fucking guy.
I don't care about all the personal insults. I really don't. Because I've dealt with my fair share. I don't need them right now. So let's get back to politics.
No, I completely agree. He was just the one that said we were doing something inappropriate together, which is like very strange.
So, Harry, can you please contain yourself?
Sure, 100%.
Thank you. Millie?
Go ahead, Millie.
I mean, I think Harry and I kind of already discussed whether or not a court of public opinion, and that, based on circumstantial evidence that has not been proven in court beyond reasonable. It is circumstantial when I'm not talking about the Trump. I'm not talking about the Trump thing. I'm talking about the Peggy Flanagan thing. That circumstantial evidence in court of public opinion is enough to form an opinion.
Oh, wait. I'm perfectly down with you having an opinion. You can have an opinion about anything. You can think Bigfoot's real. No problem. But in regards to you saying it as a matter of fact, like Peggy Flanagan did this.
Not a matter of fact that Trump did it.
It absolutely is a matter of fact. He's on audio admitting it. It is a matter of, what?
You would have to prove all of that relevant information inside of a courtroom. And on top of that,
I think I could prosecute the case. It's that easy. I mean, he's on audio admitting
witnesses. Okay, so Harry, just really quick. Yeah. Witnesses are also used as evidence in a court of law. So, like, for instance, E. Jean Carroll was able to use witnesses that
I agree.
Weren't even on the. Hold on, please stop interrupting.
But you're just making a point against something I didn't say. That's why I'm confused.
Okay,
I agree
Harry,
with you that witnesses can be used.
Whether or not you care to hear it, I'm still going to say what I'm going to say,
okay,
and you can rebut me after. Okay.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So, witnesses are still useful information and evidence that actually is provided in court of law when proving civil and criminal cases. So, in the case of E. Jean Carroll, she was able to use witnesses that didn't even witness the crime. They were simply called in as witnesses because E. Jean Carroll picked up the phone and said that this happened to them. So again, even in a case where witnesses that are inside of this group chat say that Peggy was exposed specifically, and that they were concerned about her being exposed, and they made efforts to try to cover that up. I think that's actually quite enough evidence to even prove in court of law, even if we go based off of how the E. Jean Carroll case went.
So, Millie, I don't refute that witnesses are valuable evidence in a case. You said that I somehow disagreed with that or implied that. I'm perfectly down with witnesses being used in cases. However, the cases that you're referencing, for example, E. Jean Carroll, with these witnesses, these are people under oath with the penalty of perjury. These are people who were firsthand witnesses to what E. Jean Carroll recounted to them. And in both of their cases, the story was identical. Just like with her therapist or psychologist, the story was identical. There was no confusion of facts. There was no nothing. And so that's why they were valuable, because she testified to them and they also testified under oath. These people in a Signal group chat, there's no penalty of lying in the Signal group chat. There's nothing forcing them to tell the truth. They could be trolls, for all we know, who are saying random things about Peggy Flanagan to get people like yourself riled up.
They could be actual people too, Harry.
For sure, Texas. I'm happy they could be actual people. The problem is with this argument about Peggy Flanagan is we don't know. In the case of Donald Trump, we do know.
Okay, so just really quick. So the Epstein victims after 2008, did they testify in court?
In some cases, yeah. Not all of them, but some cases they did, yes.
Okay, so but do you believe the ones that didn't testify?
Yeah, I mean, I think in those cases they provided
case closed.
No, it's not case closed.
In order for you to believe,
Millie, there's nuance. There's nuance. Millie, there's nuance here.
If you want it, no.
Can I explain? Can I explain?
Nuance. You admitted that.
Can I explain? For example, so the people in the Epstein case, these witnesses provided evidence of the crimes to these prosecutors, or the people that didn't testify or that were never put under oath, they handed things over to prosecutors that were evidence of Epstein's crimes. The people in the Signal group chat, you're just saying, oh, they said something in a group chat, so something against Peggy Flanagan, whom I don't like, must be true. These are two totally different instances. So I'm not making a universal claim of, oh, if you testify under oath versus not testifying under oath, you're telling the truth or not telling the truth. That's why I'm saying there's nuance here and you can't just make a broad assumption.
Witnesses are witnesses, Harry. And so even the witnesses that have not testified under oath, you said that you believe them regardless. And that you would trust that the information that they gave would be truthful. And so in court of public opinion, that would actually be something that you would believe, even though it hasn't been proven beyond
I just explained the nuance here and the difference.
You guys, I just feel like we're going in a circle. We've been talking about this and I don't think we're getting anywhere. I think we need to wait and see what's going to come of the Signal chat with the FBI investigating it, and then we can come back and talk about it then. But this is kind of where we're at with this topic, and I'm kind of over it right now. So, who is this? QB? Who did you vote for?
QB. I voted for VP.
QB. Okay, former.
Yeah.
Very well. So, I would like to talk about this hotel, right? We've all seen the damage that has been done to that hotel in Minnesota by these protesters. I would like to see what you guys on the left are kind of thinking. Have you seen this where they have trashed this hotel, trying to get in to these ICE agents, trying to get to them and attacking them?
We're consistent on this. Nobody should destroy private property. We don't agree with vandalism. That's why we also stand against something like January 6th, which Donald Trump pardoned all those people.
So are you making, I'm just wondering, Harry, you have a big influence, right? Are you making videos asking your fellow liberals and Democrats to tone it down, stop the violence? Are you asking people to do this?
I just said I don't.
He doesn't need to do that. We definitely condemn that.
Yeah, I'm condemning it right now on a public platform. I mean, there's 2,000 people here. There's people watching. Yeah, I condemn it. And can you condemn all the people on January 6th? And then can you condemn Donald Trump for pardoning them?
I already have.
And so you condemn Donald Trump for pardoning them?
I don't stand for what happened on J6. It's the one day that you hold over your Republicans' head like you own us, but it's one day compared to your years.
It's a tragic day that
violence.
It's a tragic day that Donald Trump pardoned all the participants. Do you defend that pardon?
Oh yeah, until you change the law with the pardons, every president pardons criminals.
Wait, so okay, wait.
So the law would have to be changed, but that's
that's not what I'm asking.
That's not what the president has.
Texas. That's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking, does the president have the ability to pardon somebody? I'm saying, do you condemn Donald Trump for pardoning people who destroy the Capitol and beat police officers? You don't condemn people who beat police officers.
I can explain why.
You said condemn Trump. You said condemn Trump for pardoning them. No, I don't.
Really?
Why not? You don't think that what if Joe Biden pardoned somebody that beat police officers? You think that's okay?
Many people that beat police officers in 2020 Summer of Love riots are still out on the streets now. They're not sitting on.
And if somebody beat a police officer, they should be arrested. Can you say the same?
They literally set up bail
J6ers
funds.
were arrested, Harry.
Okay,
so just let me
100%. And so in that turn, do you condemn Donald Trump for pardoning them?
Okay, no, I don't. And I'll
we gotta let,
okay, all
people,
right.
Hang on, Harry. We gotta let people be able to voice their opinion just like you're doing. So if you could just refrain and let other people talk as well. We have 8 other people. Okay.
I'm happy to. These are like yes or no questions. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, well, so I said that I condemn the actions on J6. I do not like what the rioters did. However, it was confirmed by an OIG that their rights were violated while they were in prison. So being held in solitary for 30 hours and then not having proper access to legal counsel, is that violation of 8th Amendment right?
Wait, what report confirmed this?
The OIG report.
OIG,
the U.S. Marshal Service went into D.C. Department of Corrections.
Do you have what can you name the report by any chance? You have the name of it?
Yeah, in fact, the ACLU, Elizabeth Warren, and even Nadler was signed on to this report.
Sure.
Actually
yeah, I'm just trying to find it. But also, like, even if somebody's rights are being violated in prison, that doesn't mean that they get a free pass out of prison, right? So, like, if
they can. In some instances, if your Miranda rights aren't read to you, it actually gives you cause to not even be charged.
No, actually, it's not true. That's a common misconception. No, it's a common misconception about the Miranda rights. Miranda rights.
It's not even about the Miranda rights.
Wait, let me just respond. Let me just respond. The host just said. The host just said we go back and forth.
No, if your due process rights are violated in any way, Harry, your entire case can and should be thrown out.
That's not true because
in most cases it is.
No, that's not true.
If you have denied counsel, cruel and unusual punishment, yeah, those are things that will immediately get your case thrown out.
That's not necessarily true. The law is a great, yes, I'm happy to explain it. The law is a gray area. So the Miranda rights are actually a great example. It's a common misconception that if you're not read your Miranda rights.
No, it's black and white.
No, oh my God.
That is literally
black and white.
That is literally the opposite. Law is
if your rights are violated in the process of your
trial,
let her speak.
Can I just finish the statement? It's what I was making, and then I'm happy to.
You're wrong.
Hang on.
I'm happy. Wait. I just want to finish my sentence. I was like,
yes, I want to let Harry finish. I want to hear everybody in their entirety. You guys, come on now.
Okay. So what I was saying is the Miranda rights are a great example of, first of all, it's a misconception that if somebody doesn't read you your Miranda rights, your case is automatically thrown out. That's not true. If somebody doesn't read you your Miranda rights,
about your Miranda rights,
Millie said something about your Miranda rights. So I'm giving you an example of when this applies to what Millie is saying about the jails as well. So if you are not read your Miranda rights, the case is not thrown out in its entirety. Just anything you said before you read your Miranda rights are thrown out. So if you said before the Miranda rights were read, yeah, I did it, and then after you plead not guilty, then your case can still go forward. They just can't use that statement in court. That applies to this prison situation in January 6th. Also, not everybody in that prison in D.C. Not everybody that was convicted for January 6th was in prison in DC. There were people outside of DC as well. So in the instance that somebody in a prison in DC was being treated unfairly or whatever, they can appeal that and they can say X, Y, and Z. But if they, for example, took somebody's life, but they were being mistreated in prison, they don't get out of jail.
Nobody's life was taken, though.
It's a hypothetical.
We're talking about
it's
trespassing and assault on an officer.
Millie, it's a hypothetical.
Which many people who assaulted officers during the Summer of Love are walking around on the streets without.
And I would agree that those people should be arrested. No problem.
Okay, I think this is cruel and unusual punishment, and I think even the treatment of these prisoners, according even to Jerry Nadler and Elizabeth Warren and the ACLU, said that they were being mistreated in prison. They had to actually be moved out of this facility, and I believe it was somewhere around 400 prisoners, by the way. So I have the document here. I don't know if I'm in the big box because TikTok's been kind of wonky lately.
Yeah, you're in it, Millie, but it's really blurry. But
I don't know how.
But I'll take your word for it. It's fine. Sure, I
there you go. I got it.
So right here, I'll just read down here at the bottom. The defendants are being held in solitary confinement for extended periods of time, and there are numerous credible reports that they are being denied access to legal counsel and face retaliation for meeting with legal counsel. They're being denied medical care, including one defendant who was denied treatment for non-Hodgkin's. This is a disgusting abuse of power, a clear violation of their civil rights. The abusive use of solitary confinement has been so egregious that even Senator Elizabeth Warren and the ACLU have spoken out. Senator Warren stated, "I do not believe in solitary confinement for extended periods of time for anyone." She also expressed concerns that law enforcement was using solitary confinement to punish the defendants. Tammy Gray, the deputy director of the ACLU National Prison Project, had said prolonged solitary confinement is torture and certainly should not be used as a punitive tool to intimidate or extract cooperation. The treatment of these defendants have been so awful and abusive that October U.S. District Judge Royce C. Lamberth asked the Department of Justice to conduct a civil rights investigation into the alleged civil rights violations by the D.C. jail. He stated, "It's clear to me that civil rights of the defendants were violated by D.C. Department of Corrections. And corrections in the D.C. jail are so bad, the following of the unannounced inspection of the U.S. Marshal Service transferred about 400 prisoners out of the facility." So I think that, one, having your rights violated to this degree, extracting confessions in order to get plea agreements, is honestly a huge abuse of civil rights. But nobody ever talks about this, by the way, Heron. You didn't even know until I brought it up.
Well, I was just asking for the report. I was just asking for a specific quote. But in addition to that, nobody agrees with anybody's civil rights being violated. That's why we're against beating police officers, by the way, which you agree with them pardoning people. We're just saying that my argument to you, no, they didn't. Not all the people who beat the police officers served their entire sentence. There were people who were convicted of seditious conspiracy.
Millie, can I?
Wait. I don't care if they serve 4 years. If they get a 10-year sentence, they should serve that damn 10-year sentence for beating police officers.
Then show me the people who assaulted officers during the Summer of Love that spent 5 years in prison.
We're saying that if somebody did that, they should also be charged. We believe in charging people who beat police officers. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying they should be if they did that. Listen to what I'm actually saying. I'm saying they should be if they are charged. We believe that. Right. However, if somebody beats a police officer in your mind and they're MAGA, they deserve to be pardoned. That's what you're arguing for here.
No. What we are simply saying is that
they should only get 4 years.
What we're simply saying
4 years for assaulting a cop.
Can I chime in here? Can I chime in here just very quickly?
Wait, go ahead.
Millie,
if I could, I'm gonna come right to you, Chris. I want Millie to finish her point. And the point that I'm trying to say is that these people did serve a certain amount of time, but there were also people in the Summer of Love that didn't serve any, okay? So, Millie, go ahead with what you were saying last. I couldn't hear you.
Well, one, Harry, if you don't like the presidential pardon or clemency, elect a representative that will remove that and make an amendment that makes it illegal for the president. But I am going to remind you that Joe Biden had the most presidential pardons at 4,500 pardons. Many of it some include, actually, I'll correct that statement. Some include violent crimes, some include fraud. There were a lot of people that let go. There were people that were just given immunity. So like J6 Select, Anthony Fauci, his own son, after he said he wouldn't pardon his own son. So, I mean, if we're going to talk about favoritism here, you can explain to me why
I'm happy to talk about Biden's pardons. First of all, Donald Trump has already pardoned Joe Biden in all its totality. And
how many pardons?
I'm happy to pull up the number for you. I think Donald Trump in his first term had 1,000 or something, but he's already out-pardoned Joe Biden. And also, just remember the people that we're talking about. Can I finish my sentence? That'd be great. So the people we're talking about regarding, can I just finish my sentence? That'd be great. Appreciate it. The people we're talking about Donald Trump pardoning are people who are these are the people that Donald Trump pardoned. Now, Chris has been trying to say something for an hour. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, just wanted to try to
No, don't run away, Harry.
What am I running away
from?
How
many pardons did Donald Trump do? Because he would have to be more than 4,500.
So are you talking, well, first of all, let's just clarify. Are we talking pardon and clemency? Are we talking about pardon and clemency or just pardon?
Yes, both.
Okay, great. I'll do that. Now, can Chris speak while I look that up, or is that impossible?
Sure.
Okay.
No, that's
so
fine.
really quickly, because I thought this would be helpful, because we touched on it earlier. About a specific J6er really said, point to a person who assaults a police officer who didn't serve their term. Fantastic. Andrew Johnson was convicted and pled guilty to assaulting a police officer on January 6th, never served his 1 year that he was given. Donald Trump pardoned him, so he didn't serve. And actually, this week we got the court documents as he was charged with I can't say the word, but crimes against an 11-year-old boy. And the subpoena text messages from that are him texting the 11-year-old boy. First, he sent him an iPhone and said, "Don't tell anybody about this. I could get in trouble." And then
I remember you bringing this up earlier.
Yep,
Why are you bringing this up again?
Because
send him back to prison.
It's hold on. It's to the point, and because Millie wasn't here, and in the subpoena text messages, I also want to point out that he actually told the child that he was a pardoned January 6er who was receiving $10 million.
Right, and what did I tell you?
Yep. Can I just finish? Can I just finish? Can I just finish real quick?
You have this one. And with all these liberal judges letting these illegals go after they are arrested, after they are convicted, not one time, but several convictions and several arrests from these illegals, not just one illegal, hundreds and thousands of them. They're in our country. These liberals judges have sent back out. Right, and now Donald Trump is getting them out one by one. I'm more than you have this one instance.
Can I speak? I'm more than happy to touch on that. It's just Millie obviously said that she was like, please point to one example. So I pointed to a perfect example where an 11-year-old boy would have a completely different life right now. And you can go read those court documents from this week.
That wasn't the example I asked, Chris, and it just shows you weren't really listening.
No, you said give me an example. You said give me an example of somebody who
was people during the summer of love that assaulted police officers that spent over 4 years in prison.
Right before that, you said point me to a J6er who was guilty of assaulting police officers and hadn't served his full sentence yet. They had already served 4 years.
That's not what I said.
Yes, it is. This person hadn't even started.
They served 4 years in prison.
And again,
that's quite a long period of time in prison.
And the point that Harry is making here is that obviously what you're referring to, whatever instances you're referring to in 2020 of people who touch police officers who are walking free, we are not that is not okay. We disagree with that. That is not acceptable. We're just looking for you to say the same. There's someone this year that I just want to point out. We touched on this earlier.
We already said what they did was not.
I'm pretty sure somebody in this panel, if I remember correctly, said, well, we have to take into consideration that he went through all the stress of the trial, mother defending someone who touched an 11-year-old boy. I remember that bit pretty
That's not what I said.
That's exactly what you said. But yeah, can you say that guy shouldn't have been pardoned? Can you say that guy shouldn't have been pardoned?
That's not what I said at all.
It is. Can you say that the guy who assaulted police officers shouldn't have been pardoned? Can you just say that he shouldn't have been pardoned? This guy who assaulted police officers.
I'm curious. Hey,
we did the summer of love. Are you guys thinking
that
you answer the question?
I'm just. Hey,
wait,
the law is the law. I do not
Harry
care how you feel or your opinion, but the law is the law. And currently, as it sets, the pardons are for anybody. They're for anybody.
We're just asking if you disagree with this.
So Texas. It doesn't matter. I don't care. The law is the law.
So you don't disagree with Donald Trump pardoning this person? Can you just say you disagree with him pardoning? Can you just say
asking for feelings?
I'm not asking for
your
opinion.
Texas, we're not asking for feelings. We're not asking for feelings. Look,
yes,
earlier,
you're
Texas.
Let me just agree or not. It
Texas,
doesn't
very
matter.
quickly.
At the end of the day, the law
very
is
quickly,
law.
Texas.
Until it's changed,
I will disavow Trump from his pardons when you guys disavow every single governor and mayor that has let illegal immigrants out instead of working with ICE, and they ended up killing an American citizen.
This is just the dumbest.
Raping and killing American citizens. Go ahead, I'll wait.
So Texas, let me just quickly say. I'm happy to explain how it's dumb in a second. Texas, let me just put this in perspective, right? So earlier you asked me about.
You guys to,
so Texas made a point. I'm going to respond to the host first, and then I'll get to you guys.
Harry, you're supposed to be getting me a number.
I have the number right here. I'll go right to you.
Okay, give it to me.
Okay, great.
No. Remember when I had to talk about your video first? Remember?
I have the number in my hand. The host just made a point. The host just made a point. Let me just. Okay, Texas, can I respond to the point you just made? And then I swear on everything I'll go to Millie. Okay, so Texas, what I was saying, it's not pivoting. I have the number in front of me. I'm going to say it to you in 5 seconds. Relax. So Texas, what I'm saying to you is regarding January 6th and the Summer of Love, Chris and I can easily say that if somebody beat a police officer, regardless of circumstances, they should be in jail. They should be charged. If it was a Summer of Love and they did the same, they should be charged. If they're walking free, we don't agree with that. We just want you guys to have the same consistency where if somebody beat a police officer, you would agree that they should be charged, convicted, and serve the time given, not get out of jail free card. Would you agree with us that beating police officers is bad no matter the circumstance, and if you are charged and convicted, you should serve your time?
You said it's bad, but
I'm not asking you, Millie. I'm
is a
asking
long
Texas.
time to serve.
I'm telling you, it is not a good thing because I do back the police officers, and I can say the same currently. Do you think these liberals and Democrats that are attacking, trying to run over the ICE agents, impeding on what they are doing, trying to get the illegal criminals out, do you think this is wrong?
So I don't think that any Democrat or anybody
Do you think that they need to be held accountable?
I'm answering your question. I don't think anybody, regardless of political affiliation, should attack a police officer of any kind. Yeah? Would you agree?
Well, I agree.
Okay, and so can you? So then you would also.
So Harry, can you make some content, Harry?
Beat police officers is wrong.
Harry, I'll leave you with this, man. I'll leave you with this, with what you have brought. Okay, I am a law-abiding citizen. Okay, I do what the law says. Okay. Currently, the law states that any president can pardon any criminal. Okay, yeah. and that's what I go with, man. Regardless of how I feel about it, that's the law.
Okay, sure, great.
Until it's changed.
Okay.
So can Harry make some content? Can Harry make some content in regards to his Democrat leadership?
Thank you for that completely useless interjection into the conversation.
Hey, Harry. So
thank you for that completely useless interjection.
Harry, what you just stated.
I'm trying to give Millie the numbers. She was begging for them now, and now she's silent. She won't interrupt her friend to get the numbers.
Hold on. It's just a simple question.
Sure, go ahead.
You can get. So with what you just stated and the question you asked Texas, right? Do you disavow going against law enforcement and assaulting them? Will you make some content in regards to telling your following that?
Okay, so this is content. Would you agree?
Is it? No. You on your platform. You on your platform. The same way you make videos. You make a video disavowing.
All right, bro. Yeah, sure, whatever. Great. I want to give Millie the numbers.
So see,
now.
we knew you wouldn't.
I'm on my platform right now saying you shouldn't do that. I don't know what you want, brother. Okay, Millie, let me give you the numbers. So in terms of pure pardons, I was right to say that Donald Trump has out-pardoned Joe Biden in terms of pure pardons. In commutations, Joe Biden has more because the overwhelming majority of his things were commutations. He only had 80 pardons, 80. Donald Trump, on the other hand, in his first term, had 144 pardons. He had 94 commutations. In his second term, yeah, I'm talking. I said that,
between Clemens.
Millie, I said that Donald Trump out-pardoned Joe Biden. So I'm giving you the numbers. Donald Trump, and this was as of January 23rd, 2025. So the data is outdated a little bit. Yeah, but Donald Trump in his first term, in his first week in office, pardoned 1,500 people. So Donald Trump has out-pardoned people.
That's all good. That's not what I asked you. And
that's the claim I made.
A straw man fallacy. Well,
oh my God, Millie, that's the claim I made.
What I asked you.
Millie, that's the claim I made.
I said specifically that Joe Biden handed out the most clemency and pardons
wait, Millie, I specifically said that Donald Trump has out-pardoned Joe Biden. And then you were talking about pardons and clemency, which is entirely
what I said.
Right. That's my claim, and you said I was wrong.
No, Harry.
Okay, so you agree that Donald Trump has out-pardoned Joe Biden?
Harry. I made a claim about the pardons and the clemency that Joe Biden did. Your rebuttal to that was to restructure an argument and build up a barrel of straw that I never asked you about. I stated a fact that Joe Biden did the most clemency and pardons to the tune of
I made a claim and you argued against my claim,
including preemptive.
Okay, Millie, I understand what you're arguing. You don't have to speak at a snail's pace.
I don't know why you're cutting me off right now, Harry.
Oh my God, Millie! I'm saying the claim I made was that
Harry,
Donald Trump out-pardoned Joe Biden. Well, then what's the point?
I don't care about your claim because at the end of the day,
what the fuck is the point of a conversation?
Supersedes yours. You restructured an argument.
It does not supersede anything. The claim I made was that Donald Trump out-pardoned Joe Biden, and that is correct. So would you agree with that?
That's not my claim.
Millie, would you? Okay,
that's not my original
Millie, let's
claim.
let's settle it then. Would you agree?
Do you know what a straw man?
Oh my God, they're in the same room.
Do you know what a straw man fallacy is, Harry?
Bro, what the? They're in the same room.
That's actually.
Are you okay?
Bro, what the
survive?
What the fuck is going on? All right, wait.
Okay, sorry. Can you stop pivoting?
Millie, let's settle this right now.
What is a straw man fallacy?
Millie, let's settle this right now. Listen to me. Ready?
No.
So would you agree?
What is a straw man fallacy?
Millie, just listen for 5 seconds.
Harry,
would you
no.
agree?
Harry,
no, Millie,
no.
Millie, just listen to what I'm saying.
No, I said no.
No, Millie, relax for a second.
No, Harry, because you're trying to take control over the argument.
Let me just be abundantly clear. Let me be abundantly clear. I'm gonna, I'll let you stop speaking and then I'll speak. Go ahead.
You lost your argument.
Millie, I said that Joe Biden did not pardon as many people as Donald Trump.
Okay. I never asked you about that, Harry.
That's the claim I made. Okay, Millie, listen,
Harry,
let's settle this.
Harry, you didn't have the original claim.
Let's settle this. Let's settle this.
I don't think you know how a debate works.
Let's settle this. Let's settle this. Ready? Millie, would you agree that
Harry,
I'm asking you to settle this point so we can move on. I'm asking you to settle this point so we can move on.
I'm going to handle it if you
Okay,
let me.
great.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead. Go ahead.
So, Millie, what is it? Please, let's get past this. What is it you need to say really quick?
Look, Harry's building a straw man fallacy off of nothing I ever fucking said to him. I said specifically that Joe Biden gave out the most clemencies, pardons, and preemptive pardons to the tune of 4,500 that he had done. Okay. Harry comes back and creates a new argument, not even correlated to the argument that I had laid out. And he built up a mountain of straw on pardons, not including clemency, so that he can try to somehow skate away from Joe Biden letting 4,500 people off the hook.
Okay, so now I'm glad that
you don't like the first
oh
step
my
back
God,
as
you're
well.
still speaking. This is crazy. So I was saying that how do we settle this?
That's
Ready?
A problem for you.
Well, it is a problem because you speak very slowly and very stupidly, so it's not easy to listen to. So what I was going to say is let's settle this. So let's just agree, Millie. I just have you speak.
Harry, please,
wait.
Please don't. Hang on, Harry. Don't insult Millie because
your friend came in here and said that Chris and I were doing something inappropriate, and you didn't condemn him. Your guy, right? The guy that you're apparently in the same room with.
It was a joke, Harry. I'm pretty sure you know what the circle jerk is.
I'm making a joke. So anyway, Millie, let's settle this. Would you agree that Donald Trump pardoned more people than Joe Biden? Yes or no?
That's never my argument. And
okay, so do you agree or no? Do you agree with the statement that Donald Trump pardoned more people than Joe Biden? Yes or no?
That Joe Biden pardoned and gave clemency and preemptively.
Wait, I'm asking you, do you agree with the statement that Donald Trump pardoned more people than Joe Biden? Yes or no? Do you agree or disagree with that statement?
On actual pardons, I would have to go actually look at the facts of the matter. But Joe Biden got one term, and Donald Trump is on his second. So
yeah. So do you agree that Donald Trump pardoned more people than Joe Biden?
So you would have to look at potentially his only first term because Joe Biden.
Okay, and we can look at his only first term as well. Donald Trump had 144 pardons. Joe Biden had 80. So even if you're just comparing the first term and Joe Biden's first term, Donald Trump still outpardoned Joe Biden. And on top of that, by the way, if we're talking about being lawless,
I don't think that's true at all.
Okay, I don't care what you think. If we're talking about, let's look it up. I'll cite you the article I'm reading right now. I'll cite you the article I'm reading right now. Al Jazeera. How do Donald Trump's pardons compare?
If you said, Harry, that you cared about people not getting off the hook and fulfilling their full sentence, yes, clemency would be included in that. Yes.
Wait, oh my God. So this is where we're going to go into. We're going to go into nuance
she's
again.
Right. No, she's right. She's right.
Is included in that. Harry?
Wait. We're going to go into. Thank God you kicked him because he was about to. Anyway, we're going to go into some nuance here. Ready? So first of all, first and foremost. Millie, can you just be quiet for 5 seconds? That'd be fantastic.
Harry,
I appreciate it.
Coming from you.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Tremendous. So we're going to go into nuance for a second here, which is, first of all, we agree, I hope, that Donald Trump pardoned more people than Joe Biden. Whether it be his first term or his second term, no matter what the comparison is, Donald Trump pardoned more people than Joe Biden. Donald Trump is also far more lawless than Joe Biden. If you look at a lot of the people that Joe Biden pardoned, some of these people had already served their terms. Some of these people were on petty crimes, certainly not violent crimes. It was a lot of that. And there were on Joe Biden's final days in office, he signed a lot of pardons. There were some people that I believe fell through the cracks because they were just trying to get through these documents really quickly, who committed crimes that were maybe worse than just petty crimes. But the overwhelming majority, I'm talking 99%, were petty crimes, number one. And then for Donald, for the claim of if they should have served out their sentence, this is where nuance in the law comes in. I don't think the law is black and white, as somebody in this live claimed, which is absurd, which is if somebody committed a petty crime like smoking something they shouldn't have, you would agree that that person probably doesn't deserve to sit in prison for 20 years. Whereas if somebody beat a police officer, you would agree that they should be sitting in prison.
When she prosecuted, she sentenced them for pettiness. Yeah, go ahead.
That's actually not true. If you look at the data, the amount of men in prisons, no, it's not true. If you look at the data,
one there that was on death row to unalive him, and he won a lot of money suing him.
That's also, I'm happy to go into these things, but first and foremost with Kamala Harris, the population of people in jails for doing that specific crime that we referenced stayed pretty consistent during her term. There was not a surge in prosecuting these people, and most prosecutions in charges on top of it. So they use the possession or smoking of said substance as a way to increase charges to force a plea deal. It's a common practice with prosecutors, number one. And then the Kamala Harris, the evidence thing, is that the evidence you're referencing, the death row thing? Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Kamala Harris has already come out, and Gavin Newsom also has come out. They ordered for new testing. Gavin Newsom was like completely on board with new testing. He said, "Let's do it," and the testing actually found that he was guilty. So that guy is still
the one that won all the money, suing him.
I don't think maybe we're talking about different people, but the guy that was
we may be, but yeah, there was one
that got most media,
and he sued. He won a lot of money. I'll have to look his name up. I can't remember. I talked about that a long time ago, but hang on, Leah. What is it, Leah?
His name is True Love.
I mean, he just
Thank you, True Love. Leah?
Yeah, Jamal True Love. He just totally pivoted. I mean, Harry, you just totally did.
I tried to.
What did I pivot from?
From pivoting.
Because this is the thing. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you, because we were talking about you was going through Biden. All right, so let me ask you about this. Is there any pardons that you would condemn that he did?
I don't know every person he pardoned or
okay, well, you're saying that it's all petty. All petty crimes and stuff,
and you don't know of all of them.
I can start bringing them out.
I don't know all of the 4,000 pardons and clemency that Biden granted. I don't know every single case. Yes,
then you can't really say that they're all petty.
They were
there were people. There were a bunch of articles.
Yeah, I want Mother and Millie to tell me.
There were a bunch of articles that came out.
Hey, Harry, I know you have a problem. I can see this.
I just want to get a sentence out.
You definitely have.
Y'all are saying that I don't know the cases. I'm saying I don't know every single.
I understand, that's fine. But you're gonna just hang on a minute, then.
Yeah.
So, Mother or Millie.
They wouldn't even
so I'm going to lay out, Harry, you said your problem with the J6ers is that they were supposed to serve a certain amount of time that was ordered, right? But they actually, some of them had their sentences commuted, and then I think 16 of them got pardoned for the J6ers. But when I look at what Biden did, and I pointed out there was 4,500 people that had their sentences reduced or commuted outside of pardons, you just glossed over that and just went straight to pardons. So you also have a problem with the way that Joe Biden commuted thousands of people, the most actual sentences commuted out of any president within the last 20 years.
No, again, this is
where, glossed over that.
This is where nuance comes in. So this is what I was just explaining a moment before. I know you don't care about nuance. That's why we're here right now.
That's like your that is the most stayed away from the truth.
That's the most damning admission yet, that you don't care about nuance. Politics is all nuance. So anyway, the pardons and the commutations with Joe Biden. Yeah, I think there's a major difference, and I think you'd agree, between somebody who
that's going to justify it.
You
said if they got
how is there a major difference between?
If y'all would just listen to what I was about to say without having a meltdown, y'all be good.
Silent the entire fucking time I've been up here, bro.
Yeah,
I honestly couldn't.
So
I know you talked a lot.
I was in the middle of a sentence.
Harry,
it's
now,
my turn.
Stop, because
what do you mean it was your turn? I was in the middle of a sentence. Y'all interrupted me.
Harry,
are you done?
Can you?
No, I'm not done. I was saying something.
Because you have been talking.
Texas.
Okay?
Millie just said something to me. I was in the middle of responding, so I'm happy to let Mother speak after I finish my thought. That's all. So what I was saying is, I think there's a major difference between a hypothetical like somebody possessing a illicit substance versus somebody invading the Capitol building. Right? So if somebody invaded the Capitol building and did something wrong on Capitol grounds, that is a vastly different crime. And if you look at the overwhelming majority of Biden's pardons, I don't know every case, I'm citing articles I read at the time, the overwhelming majority of them were petty crimes. And so I think there's a difference between petty crimes and invading the Capitol. And y'all jumped on me saying, I think there's a major difference. If you would just let me get that out, I think you would also agree that there's a major difference. It's called nuance.
I want to hear from Mother. Okay?
I don't agree, especially when it comes to you guys getting upset about the level of Trump's pardons when it pertains to fraud. But the one that I'm really concerned about is actually Shanlin Jin, who was given clemency after he was sentenced to 8 years for being caught with thousands of images of children.
I'd love to talk about that one.
He was granted clemency and was released and sent back to China.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that one.
Yeah, I'm still talking though.
Well, you're saying a whole lot of nothing.
You
but go
said
ahead.
that most of them were for petty crimes, but the more you actually dig into some of these pardons, they did have offenses against children in them. So it wasn't all just petty crimes that you guys are talking about. And some of them were actually elected officials that were caught with committing fraud up to $600 million.
Well, I don't.
But you guys don't want to talk about these cases because then it will destroy the argument. See, the thing about it is that presidents have the power of pardons, and no matter how much any of us don't like it or think that it's bullshit and that some of these people shouldn't have been fucking pardoned and buried under the prison instead, we don't have the power to change or control that.
I hear you.
Because it's established in the Constitution. So we've been going round and round over something that's literally a constitutional power that has been granted by the president.
I hear you. I'm
I'm
not disputing
No, I
it.
don't. In some cases, yes, I do. Because when people like Julian Assange are actually let go, or Snowden, and given actual pardons, I don't mind that kind of shit. Because there's actual people
I hear you.
That do
good
shit and expose our government. So no matter how much you don't like it, you can dislike Trump's pardons all you want, but I dislike Biden's pardons just as much.
That's great. Now let me talk about the specific case of the Chinese national.
I'm gonna come right to you, Harry. But I did look up some of Biden's pardons, and I'm just seeing that there was one that was sentenced for 19 years in prison for stealing about $54 million over 2 decades, and charges of finance for Illinois that Biden pardoned. But go ahead, Harry.
Yeah.
54 million.
So thank you. I want to very quickly say about this Chinese national that you referenced. That was not somebody that is now walking the streets of China or is walking the streets of the United States. That was a deal that the United States struck with China. So Biden granted said individual clemency to go back to China and I believe face charges. And in return, Americans came back from China in a deal we struck with them. So it wasn't like Joe Biden was just like, oh, this guy did some bad things to kids. We'll let him go out in the streets. They struck a deal with China, and Americans are now sitting in their houses tonight because Joe Biden struck that deal. And that guy's in China doing whatever. Who knows what happens over there. Probably not something good. So Joe Biden actually got Americans home in that deal. And you would know that if you didn't just go to a website and read about the pardon or the clemency grant.
Actually, can you actually prove that he's in prison in China right now? Can you pull that up?
I just said I don't know what they're doing to him in China. I don't know what they're doing to him in China.
He wasn't. Wait,
why is that? Why is that of your? Why do you care? Why do you care about that?
No, hold on. He just said that he wasn't walking the streets and that
walking the streets of the United States. Yeah, he's not walking the streets of the United States.
It doesn't matter if he's hurting children in China.
When have you ever cared about?
Wait. You guys don't give a shit.
Wait. You just don't give a shit that Joe Biden got Americans home.
Well, that and also, when have you ever cared about citizens? Wait, your entire platform is based off the idea of like America first. Who cares what's going on in other places and other countries? And now you're concerned about what's going on in China?
Dedication to the children that have lost their lives.
It's not a pivot.
And what
about Jay Epstein, brother? Donald Trump is covering up the files. I also want to point out what Millie directly engaged in to start this conversation. Hilariously
enough. What the fuck my page is about? You've never even looked at my page.
Just stop raging, loser. Just let me speak.
What Millie?
Excuse you?
You heard me. To start this entire conversation.
Hang on.
Big and scary. Come on,
Millie. Obviously, this entire conversation started off Millie actually engaging.
I'm so sorry. Nobody's gonna be able to hear you while we're both talking. I don't know. It's very simple. One at a time. Please don't insult people. We have been very kind to you guys. We haven't been insulting you. So what?
Come on. Get real with me for a second.
So all I was going to say was that this conversation started.
I am being real.
Very cordial, and you guys have been nothing but disrespectful.
We literally got up there and
your
boy said we were doing something inappropriate with each other as soon as he got up here, by the way.
So, okay, that was one thing. So please, you guys, just tighten it up. We're all adults here. Let's act like it, okay? JTK, how are you doing? You voted for Trump?
Yes, I did.
Lovely. Eric, you voted for Trump as well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm doing good. Millie, what do you got on that screen? You're on mute.
I was gonna ask them how they felt about this clemency. So, conspiracy to unalive United States nationals, conspiracy to unalive officers and employees of the United States, conspiracy to acquire and use
what's the name?
I don't know why you're talking.
What's the name? There's no point in reading the charges.
Desperate.
What's the name?
Wait, I will get to the name.
Okay, you don't have to read all the charges.
Hey, you two down here, can you please
God, you just want a name, bro.
She speaks at like one word a minute, bro.
Can you please let people speak in their entire
Oh my God,
the name, okay?
Now we traded him for an American. We traded Victor Bout back to Russia for an American.
Okay, so really quick, whether somebody commits a crime within the United States, you guys said they should be held to full account, and that whatever their crime is, it should be actually held to the full extent, and that they should not get their sentences commuted.
Can I address this?
Shut up, Chris. Nobody's.
Oh my God, you're saying the same thing a million times over, bro. We get it.
Talking, and you guys can't handle it for more than 5 seconds.
Just speak a little faster.
Lay
and we'll be fine.
off the Adderall.
Just speak a little faster. We'll be fine. Go ahead.
Stop.
Go ahead. Just quick.
Thank you. So, conspiracy to unalive United States.
Oh my God.
Conspiracy to unalive officers and employees of the United States. Conspiracy to acquire and use anti-aircraft missiles, harboring and concealing terrorists. Now, can you tell me why Joe Biden let this man off of
we just did
25-year imprisonment?
Yes, if I could speak here for two things. Number one, and please just let me get through this. Number one, the reason I was begging you to show the name is because obviously, again, applying nuance. Victor Bout was traded for an American, which once again, in the deal with the Russians, is somebody who's now sitting at home, potentially with their family, and that's a decision that's obviously requires more nuance. It's disingenuous to suggest that we're just releasing people who tried to unalive Americans. We all agree that Victor Bout's a horrible person, but sometimes you have to make hard decisions, especially to get Americans home. And to that point, when you talked earlier about straw man, you keep setting up this argument. This is the second time you've actually directly engaged in a straw man where you're making the claim that Harry or I have said that all people who commit a violent offense, regardless of what that, and really any offense, all people who are found guilty of a crime should serve their full sentence. And so there's no nuance there, and you must be logically consistent. That's a straw man. I think obviously there's an incredible amount of nuance in this, whether it's Victor Bout, whether it's someone doing something they shouldn't, like a petty crime versus a violent crime. And again, I don't understand the engagement in the straw man. I think it's acceptable to trade somebody for an American citizen if that's the decision.
Was Victor Bout rearrested for doing the same shit that he was convicted of in this country?
Yeah, sure, probably.
Yeah, he was actually. So you think Brittany Griner was possibly worth hundreds of American or other lives in another country?
I think an American.
Hold on. While he's now he's now again in jail for moving arms for terrorists.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty good deal. Ended up in jail.
So you guys think Brittany Griner
just let Chris speak.
Hundreds of American lives?
Just let Chris speak.
I think the difference
was let back out
just
and
let
then
Chris speak.
reconvicted of doing the same. It's the lack of consistency.
Yeah,
he just explained that.
I literally cannot fucking.
There's an incredible amount of nuance.
The nuance that you just used was literally destroyed by the fact that he was already rearrested and being charged for arms trafficking for terrorists.
I will say this. I will say two things. Number one, you said earlier the law is literally black and white, which is actually probably the most hilarious thing I've ever heard, because the law is quite literally all gray. It's really funny. It's like the exact opposite.
It's not.
It's all of the law is gray. It's literally a gray area. But anyways, to your point that you're making. I just don't I don't think you would appreciate or agree if I started saying things about if people are killed, if Americans are killed unalived in violent crimes, I don't think you would appreciate if I started putting value on who they are or what they bring to society. Again, I think what we should stand for as Americans is something, I don't know, no American left behind. And so you trying to set up this idea of oh, look who Victor Bout is. He's this horrible guy.
Trading an arms dealer for somebody that was caught with a drug.
Yeah,
an American.
An American.
Yeah,
it's not it's an American citizen.
Country is
an American.
It's an American citizen.
It's an American.
It's an American.
Go ahead, Millie.
but again, the point I'm making here is that like, notice how we start arguing. Notice how we start arguing.
Excuse me.
Notice, hold on.
Excuse me.
Hold on. Can I please finish my point? Can I please finish my point?
Excuse me.
Can I please finish my point? Notice how we started.
The ladies are talking.
No, I was finished. I gotta finish my point. I gotta finish my point. I gotta finish my point. Notice how we started the conversation by saying, okay, look who Joe Biden pardoned, and we started reading charges, and then all of a sudden I say, can we see the name? Can we see the name? And now we want to argue on the nuance. Remember, we shifted the goalposts. The original thing was Joe Biden lets all these evil people. Yeah,
None
so
of these
again,
people
like,
were traded. We have first-degree murder, bank robbery,
Millie, obviously, have you looked into any of these individual cases? Have you looked into
go back to the names? Go back to the names.
Okay, here's the names.
Okay,
were these people traded?
Like, obviously, I think that we could probably do some research.
No, were these people traded?
Is your belief right now that Joe Biden?
No, don't run away.
And no, I'm not running away. I'm not running away. I'm addressing your point directly.
Chris, you haven't stopped talking.
I know, because you are so disingenuous when you talk, when you speak. You set up these like illogical things.
What I say, it's just disingenuous.
No, it's not about not liking what you say. It's being disingenuous.
When I rebut,
wait, speak. If I could speak, please. If I could speak, please.
To cover up for the fact that you have bad arguments.
The entire conversation. Stop.
Okay, so one, I will show you the names, and then you can show me where we traded these people in an
again disingenuous right there. We might have not
I
traded them. It was disingenuous right there because you set it up in such a
tolerate a woman to speak.
Such a horrible.
It's really sad for the Democrats who honestly tout about
feminism
and all this shit.
Yep, keep going. Yep.
So then we have murder in the first degree.
Yep, show the name.
Can you show me where we made a trade agreement for this?
Yeah, again, might have not been traded, but I guarantee I can find some nuance, right? So
we gotta find nuance for every single person that Biden pardoned off of their sentence.
Nuance. That is why you're a Trump supporter and we're not,
Chris,
because you lack that.
You and Harry said that if you assault an officer, that there is no excuse for a commuting of sentence of any kind. So when we're looking at something like first degree murder, there's no excuse for nuance. This is murder. Then you have a second
wait.
one.
Go back to the murderer. Don't run. Go back up. Go back up.
Go back up.
Yeah. What happened to that individual?
They were sentenced.
They were sentenced, and then what did Joe Biden do?
They commuted the sentence.
They commuted
it's
the
called
sentence.
Clemency.
Right. So then what happened?
Called clemency.
Right. So then what happened to that individual?
They got a clemency, which is why you guys.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I obviously no shit. I'm asking
again and again.
I'm at no. Hold on,
Chris.
No, don't run.
Chris, I'm not done with my argument.
Okay, but the thing is, you can't just move on.
Wait. Is that person still in prison? Is that person still in prison?
Actual argument.
Millie, is that person still in prison?
Because you guys cannot actually talk.
You guys, can y'all please wait? Because I'm
can't handle it.
I'm getting tired. So
Texas,
can y'all please wait?
It's
Can
exhausting.
you please wait till Millie is done?
Okay, good.
Please.
Go ahead, Millie. Let's start with the first one, and then we'll talk, and we'll respond. And we'll go one by one.
Why is there one by one?
Because
there are multiple clemencies and reduced sentences.
Because you're not applying nuance. I already have the answer to the first one.
I have the answer to the first one as well. But
the first person
label excuses.
No, it's not an excuse.
It's nuance. Wait, okay.
It's an excuse.
Is your claim
that the first person is still sitting in jail?
Or is he a free man?
No, I
what do you
said
think?
that their sentence has been reduced.
Hold on. No. What
No.
happened to that person's clemency papers? What happened to the first guy's clemency papers?
The first woman? It's not even a guy.
Okay,
Did
fantastic.
You misgender her?
The first name.
That's kind of fucked up.
Shannon Wayne.
Yeah. What happened to that person's clemency papers?
Their clemency papers are right here.
Yeah. So answer. Tell me what happened to them though. Did they sign the clemency papers?
Okay. Do you want me to download
the actual clemency? The answer to that question is they were serving a life sentence and actually declined to sign the clemency because their lawyers believed it would give them a better shot it would set them at that the individual that you're referring to, Shannon.
What does that have to do with Biden offering?
I'm going to give you that if you let me finish, because again,
there's nothing to do with Biden.
No, it does. It absolutely does. I'm going to explain that part. But again, you're not applying nuance to these things. And you just assume. You're
running away to whether
can I finish speaking?
They're still in jail.
I never have been able to finish my first sentence. No, because you and Harry keep barking because you're hopped up on Adderall.
All right. Here we go. We have another. We're throwing
another personal insult, huh?
Another personal insult.
No. Can you please? I've asked this. I don't know how many times. Can you please let Millie finish? I want to see what she has. I want to hear it. If y'all don't want to hear it, that's fine. But let her finish, okay?
Texas, we're not saying she can't finish. We're saying we want to go one by one so we can look at each case on a specific level.
I'm here, Harry. I see it. I'm hearing it. I'm asking you to please stop and let her finish in her entirety.
But Texas, she wants to go down the list automatically. We want to go one by one. We want to address each case by case.
No. I want to hear what Millie has to say in her entirety, and then you can come in with your response.
Okay, so Millie, do you have anything to add to the case of Shannon?
Simply said that Joe Biden, when offered clemency to these people, he didn't care if they were sitting there for first-degree murder. The offer of clemency is the argument. A president offering the clemency, not whether or not the person accepts the clemency. Yes?
Okay. Yep. So Chris,
moving the goalpost to whether or not they accept it.
Just listen to Chris. Okay, we heard you. Texas, we got her out. Chris, please, go ahead.
Yeah. So
you guys are really desperate.
Because you're okay. I'll be nice. Yes, go ahead, Chris.
Reeks of desperation, not gonna lie.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. So again, what was if I could just ask quickly, do you know off the top of your head what Shannon's what Shannon was what her punishment was?
It's death.
Right. So a couple things here. Again, and this is why I think that we keep interjecting, because to frame, you're setting up a logical fallacy where well, first of all, you're framing this as if Joe Biden is just such an evil, horrible man that he's just going down a list of like murderers and villains and pardoning them. And so we list one that we say, okay, that was traded for Victor Bout. And you say, okay, list the next one that was traded. And you want to go down this list quickly. But Shannon was part of 37 people that Joe Biden commuted their sentence because Joe Biden doesn't believe in the death penalty. And so if Shannon signed the paper, it would have been life in prison. It's not like these people are being released or there's an early sentence, right? That actually is still consistent with the idea that this person Shannon should serve her time. Joe Biden's under the belief that it shouldn't get the death penalty, and Shannon's lawyers would actually end up declining to sign it because they believed it would give them a worse shot in prison, or a worse shot in the court of law at exhausting her appeals. If they signed the clemency, they felt like that they wouldn't have nearly as much leverage to try to essentially go through an appeals process. So again, like the point I'm trying to make here is that when you keep setting up these arguments and you say, okay, let's go down a list of all the crimes that people were convicted of, it's like obviously there's an incredible amount of nuance there. It's not like Joe Biden is saying this person didn't do anything wrong. He's saying, I don't believe in the death penalty. Shannon should serve life in prison instead of being put to death, which is still consistent to what we're saying. And the clemency papers weren't even signed. So when you're not applying nuance to these things, you're purposely setting up an argument in an invalid way.
Okay, see how that was done? We let you speak, and we didn't interrupt you, and we didn't interject, and we waited until you were finished in your entirety. Okay, I expect the same respect from you guys. Okay, y'all can do it. I know you can.
Okay. So I'm going to remind you of you and Harry's argument. You were upset that there were reduced sentences, period. That if a judge hands down an order for a sentence, that they should follow that through to its entirety. And now you have a situation where Joe Biden offered when people, and it's hard to get people the death penalty, by the way. There would have to be like a extraneous amount of circumstances that led you to get that type of punishment. And so what Joe Biden is offering is that they're going to get reduced sentences. So if you are okay with reducing sentences, then you should make that argument and hold the same standard across all presidents. Yeah, now, you may not I don't know why your mouth is even open. Thank you.
Because it's a straw man.
If you don't, there you go. The Adderall just can't stand it. Chris, I was quiet the entire time you spoke. The entire time.
I'm not as insufferable.
I muted and I waited for you to be finished, and you're still going. Okay. If you don't like presidential clemency, if you don't like the ability for a president to pardon people, then get a representative in office, pass an amendment, and take away the president's right to do that. Until that happens, this is a constitutional right. So what you guys are actually advocating against is the Constitution itself.
So Millie, I'm gonna leave in a minute because I'm gonna FaceTime my girlfriend. But the last point I want to make before I leave,
your girlfriend,
yes. So Look at this. You're a grown-ass man down there with pictures of me on your phone? That's super weird. Anyway, Millie, you're again operating in a black and white view of things. You're saying, well, if we agree with reducing pardon or giving pardons or clemency in this case, we have to agree with other cases. It's called a straw man. Which is not exactly. It's a straw man, and it's a complete lack of nuance. We're saying there's certain circumstances where a pardon or a grant of clemency makes sense. And there are certain circumstances where it does not. It is circumstantial. That's the whole point of pardons, right? And I don't personally believe that the president should have their pardon power taken away. I think there's a debate, but I don't think that should be the case. But that does not mean that I agree with Donald Trump abusing his pardon power. I don't agree with Joe Biden doing it. But all the examples you provided so far, there is more to the story. And I guarantee that if Donald Trump had some prisoner swap with China or Russia, and we got Americans back home, you'd be the most patriotic person. It would be 4th of July for you. You'd be firing fireworks up in the air with spinners in your hand saying, this is America, we got an American home. But when Joe Biden makes a deal to get Americans home, who are very thankful that they're home, well, then, it doesn't require any nuance. It's automatically something we should condemn. And it's so frustrating to talk to people on the other side of the aisle who cannot see a gray area on these very, very nuanced topics. Now, you're in great hands with Chris. He's going to crush you like he's been crushing you all night. You guys all suck.
I have one. Couldn't even lay out the three levels of the judicial branch.
Go ahead, Texas.
So, hey, Harry, since you're leaving, so what is it you Democrats and liberals want? What is it y'all are doing, these impeding on these ICE agents, trying to keep them from doing their job? What is it you want? What are you trying to get from
Harry wants to see all violent prisoners released for good, forever.
Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, hell yeah. No.
I'm really asking because I don't understand. We're trying to get the illegal criminals where you guys are impeding, you guys are attacking, you guys are trying to run them over in the car, you guys are attacking the hotel. I'm asking, what is it y'all are trying to accomplish?
So all of these things you just mentioned, I've already condemned. Like, I don't think anybody should be attacking officers, right? No problem. What we want is a practical application of immigration enforcement. So we don't agree with undocumented immigration. We want people to do it the legal way. However, we recognize that the legal system is broken right now. Joe Biden tried to fix it with a bill that was written by Democrats and Republicans. Senator James Lankford, who was endorsed by Donald Trump, wrote the bill, and Donald Trump got his buddies in Congress to vote against it. It would have done many beneficial things, which I hope everybody in here would agree with. Hiring more immigration judges, hiring more Border Patrol agents, increasing security at the border so people can't bring substances through, increasing the technology we have at those ports of entry where most of these substances come through. That's the bill that Biden introduced. Donald Trump shot it down. That's a lot. It is. Oh my God. I'll let Chris handle that.
Okay. No.
I'm not done, Millie. You were just crying. You were sobbing over people interrupting you, Millie. You were sobbing. You were crying on here about being interrupted.
You did.
Now
this
you can be quiet, and that's great, Millie. Follow. If I'm a hypocrite, then I'm a hypocrite. You follow your own logic. Thank you very much. Okay. So that's what we want. We want that bill to be passed. We want asylum to be fixed. Joe Biden in that bill introduced a fix to asylum that would make it harder for people to claim. The main problem during the Biden administration is that system was abused. And so Biden tried to fix it. The Republicans blocked that bill. We want a practical, logical implementation of a border patrol in the country, as in going after criminals is great. Go after the criminal, throw them in jail or deport them. I don't care. But if somebody's been here for 20 years, they're working a job, their kids in school, they teach the high school soccer team, and they're not committing crimes, I don't think that person should be deported. Give them a path to citizenship so they can stay in the country and continue to contribute to their economy, their community, and whatnot. That's what we want.
Okay. So I'm going to let you, and Millie, just really quick. So do you think that Obama and Clinton Democrats that deported were the big ones that deported a lot? Do you think they were only deporting criminals that actually did crimes? Did they deport others that came over here illegally and that was their only crime? To be here illegally.
So I'm not arguing that Joe Biden or Barack Obama or Clinton all only deported people who committed serious crimes. That's not my claim. But I think that if we are on
it's okay when they do it.
No.
But it's not okay when Donald Trump does it?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's okay at all. I'm saying that in the overwhelming majority, I know we're never going to get it right? ICE's immigration enforcement, no matter who's in office, is never going to get it right 100% of the time. I get it. But I want the overwhelming majority of people targeted by these operations to be criminals. We have data from the Department of Homeland Security themselves saying that the majority of people who have been targeted by ICE.
That's not the law, though. That's not what the
Mother,
law
I'm not
says.
talking to you right now. So
I
we have the overwhelming majority of people in
care,
Department of Homeland Security data says that the people who have been deported or arrested. Mother, I'm not talking to you. Texas asked me, can you at least have some respect for your, can you have some respect for a host? Can you have some respect for the host, please, who asked me a question and trying to answer it for her?
The American society.
Can you have some respect for Texas who asked me a question?
Hello.
Have some respect for Texas. And then
where
I'm happy
is the
to get
regard
to you.
For the law?
You voted for a felon. You voted for a felon.
What does that have to do
you
with
don't care.
upholding federal
you do not
immigration
care
law?
about the law. That's what I'm saying. You
Again,
pick and
what
choose
does that
when you
have
care
to do
about
with
the law.
federal immigration law?
You pick and choose when to care about the law. If it's Donald Trump breaking it, you couldn't give a rat's ass.
Constitution that felons cannot become president.
No, but if you have a moral principle, and did you
ever think that
if you have a moral principle that breaking the law is bad, you wouldn't vote for a convicted felon.
American people
you would not vote for a convicted felon if you had a moral principle that breaking the law is bad.
You're running away from the question that I'm asking.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I was talking to Texas, and you got your fucking mouth in here talking about some crap.
Where in the Constitution does it say?
Where in the Constitution does it say that?
You can stay.
Where in the Constitution does it say? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Texas, who asked me a question that was actually a good question, a reasonable one. We were having a good dialogue before you jumped in here and started rambling about nonsense.
I'm not rambling about nonsense.
You are rambling about nonsense.
The law.
Okay, so
you don't care about the law.
I do want Harry to finish. I do want him to finish.
Thank you, Tech. I appreciate that. Thank you. So, no, I don't think every president's going to get it right. I 100% agree that Biden, Clinton, Obama probably got it wrong sometimes with who they deported. They probably deported somebody that shouldn't have been under my framework. But I would like a law to be passed, the one that Joe Biden proposed, that would make legal immigration easier, illegal immigration harder, improve the security we have at the border, hire more immigration judges so the system can move quicker, so people's cases can be addressed quicker. And have a practical application of the law in the United States, where people who've been here for 30 years, working a job, contributing to the people around them, they should not be deported under just a blanket belief of the whatever agency is enforcing it. But people who are serious criminals who have done bad things, get them out. Couldn't care less. Throw them in jail in the United States if you want to, so they don't come back in. Get them out. Do you agree or disagree?
I mean, I like some of those things you have touched on. I do. But is this the right way to go about it, Harry? Do you think attacking the ICE agents that are just out there doing it's really not, is it?
I don't think any officer should be attacked.
Right. It's just not the right way to go about it. If we want laws to change, the violence is not the answer, man.
I agree. I don't think there should be violence against anybody. So
don't you think maybe these people should go home?
No.
Stop. No?
Wait. Who? Sorry.
The protesters. Maybe they should go home. No. Maybe they should call their. No, they shouldn't go home.
No, I think people are using their First Amendment right to protest, and I think they're protesting justly. I mean, what we're seeing by ICE, I think most people would agree.
Even the violent ones, you think?
No, I don't think.
You just said you don't. But you do.
No, you're talking about the over. I'm assuming you're talking about the majority of protesters, which the majority of protesters are peaceful. But anybody that's committing a crime should not be doing that. That's my belief.
The plea to majority. So can I talk to you about these border?
No, Millie, I'm leaving. I'm going to talk to my girlfriend. I don't want to. Millie, I'm going to talk to my girlfriend. I just said 10 minutes ago I'm going to talk to my girlfriend. I'm not talking to you any longer. Thank you, Texas. Thank you, Texas, for having me on your live. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
and James Lankford voted against it, by the way. Yeah, he straight up lied about this fucking bill. It has zero co-sponsors.
So what is it about that bill he was talking about, this and that Biden presented, it was to help, the immigration and blah-de-da-de-da. He thought it was just so the greatest. So what is it to that, really?
Harry's got to run off and juggle his 6 girlfriends again because,
right.
We wouldn't want another scandal to emerge, right, Harry? But really quick. So one, you said this was a bipartisan bill, which is the biggest fucking joke. There's only one fucking Republican that voted for this one, and James Lankford voted no. You're claiming that this is his own bill that he voted no against. Okay. Second, you tried to claim that Biden was involved in these negotiations. James Lankford went out on the floor and said not only was Biden not involved